Welcome back to Touchdown T. My name's Nicky, and this is the recap of last night's Ravens and Steelers game at M&T Bank Stadium. So, I'm very downbeat today, as you can tell. Not in a good mood today, as you can tell. This is going to be a very downbeat, unenthusiastic game review because I feel deflated after yesterday's game. I'm sure all the Ravens fans out there do, but let's talk through it as much as we can if you even want to talk about yesterday's game. Anyway, get into it. So, devastating loss. I think this is a really, really damaging loss for the team in terms of our aspirations of winning the AFC North. I think it's going to be difficult from here on out to win the division. Obviously, we're still getting the playoffs, we expect that. But I don't think the division win is going to happen now, even if Ravens split with the Steelers. Looking at both teams' remaining schedules, it doesn't look to me like the Ravens are going to be able to overtake the Steelers. Anyway, let's get into the game itself. So, I said in the game preview video that this is Lamar's second game against the Steelers, and that if he had a game like he had in his first game against the Steelers in week 5 last season, that the Ravens wouldn't win. In that game, Lamar threw 3 picks. He was sacked 5 times, and I said that can't happen against the Steelers squad because they've got Ben back, and the offense is going to be better than last time, and those numbers will result in a loss. And what did we get? Same kind of thing. It wasn't 5 sacks, it was 4 sacks. Wasn't 3 picks, it was 2 picks. But same kind of difference. Lamar threw 2 interceptions and had another one by Joe Hayden that was overturned on review. Lamar fumbled 3 times and lost 2 fumbles. So throughout the game, Lamar did not take care of the ball. And if we're honest, that was the reason for the loss. I don't really want to hear any other excuses. I'm a big Lamar fan. I think most of us as Ravens fans are big Lamar fans. I was a supporter of his before the draft, during the draft process. Just will be a fan of Lamar's. But I think it's okay. We can be Lamar fans and still acknowledge when he is the reason for the loss. And this game was on Lamar. It wasn't on anyone else. I don't want to hear any complaints about Greg Roman calling for throws instead of runs because, look, Greg Roman ran the ball loads last night. He put the offense in a good position to do what it needed to do to close out the win. Yeah, look, you can't expect the offensive coordinator never to call a pass play. And frankly, if you can't call simple pass plays at all without risk, that's on the QB. You know, this is MVP QB from last season. Roman has to be able to trust his QB to throw some simple make some simple throws during the course of a game. It's on Lamar that he didn't make those throws safely. And so I'm going to blame Lamar, not blame Greg Roman. So getting into Lamar a bit more, since just may as well get that subject out of the way first of all. So, as I said, 2 picks. First of all, pick 6 early in the game, and then another pick later, which is just devastating. They led to 14 points for the Steelers. And in this game that was so close, you just can't make mistakes like that. 2 touchdowns against the Steelers when you've got them on the ropes, giving them those points, it's just inexcusable. So really disappointing game from Lamar. I don't think there's any way you can say that this would have even been really close if it hadn't been for the mistakes that were made. One thing that's concerning me about Lamar, but I think is correctable, is maturity. I've got a feeling with Lamar that he's still immature, but he's still so young. So I've noticed a few things with Lamar that have concerned me in recent games. And it seems to be, for me, like the exuberance of youth that is causing them. And that is a tendency to continue to make, I would say, kind of selfish moves when he's making runs, in terms of holding the ball out in a flashy manner, and then trying to juke defenders when he doesn't need to, and then running into the end zone sometimes in an unsafe way where the ball could be smashed out of his hands. Look, he's been told about this enough times. I believe the coaching staff must have told him, people must have told him this is risky, don't do these things, and he's still doing them. And the fact he's still doing them makes me just think, look, he's still mature. Maybe as he gets older, those things will come out of his game. There was a point in this game in the first half, and look, it didn't end up hurting the team. It was on a touchdown drive that ended with a Gus Edwards touchdown run. But I think it was 2nd and 7, and Lamar made a good run to the outside, out to the left, and he stepped out of bounds for a 14-yard gain, got the first down. And as he was going out of bounds, he did something really weird. He kind of like stopped dead just before going out of bounds and did a weird kind of pirouette, like dance thing with a flourish. And I just thought, look, this is a Steelers-Ravens game. This game is not out of hand at any point. I mean, at that point, the game was still very close. I mean, Ravens obviously end up losing. So this is not a game where you're blowing out the opponent. It's an easy opponent that you can be dancing or doing these things. I just thought it was a weird thing for your QB to be doing in a game that's before halftime, is still in hand against a tough opponent. Why would you be doing that instead of just concentrating on winning the game? So I think these are things that Lamar needs to correct, and hopefully correct them sooner rather than later, because we need him to grow up and get that stuff out of his game. Anyway, on to the rest of the team. The defense played lights out. I mean, the D was absolutely amazing. I questioned before the game what they would do in terms of blitzing Big Ben, because he's so good against the blitz. But look, the D had his business handled. They were outstanding. They held the Steelers to under 50 yards rushing. That's just absolutely outstanding. The corners played well. Juju had a good game, but apart from that, every phase of defense played awesomely, and I was really, really impressed by that. The defense did their job, and they proved themselves to be truly elite D at this time. In terms of the Ravens offense as well, again, I've got to say, outside of Lamar, I think it was really a good game for the offense. There wasn't loads in the passing game, 208 passing yards for Lamar, which isn't one of his lowest numbers, but you know, he put up that kind of numbers a lot of time last season in conjunction with his running. You know, Lamar doesn't tend to throw for 400 yards. But the run game, again, was really, really good. I mean, both Gus and JK did an amazing job without Mark Ingram in the starting lineup. And I think we've got to say this was JK's breakout game. Over 100 yards on the ground. Really good performance from Gus as well. Both guys just played amazingly as a running back tandem. Broke off some big runs. Put us in a great position to win. And astounding considering the O-line changes that happened during the game. So we'll get on to the O-line now. And obviously the big news of the game is the loss of Ronnie Stanley. Just devastating. 2 days ago I made my video talking about the re-signing of Ronnie Stanley to a 5-year extension. We're all so excited about that as Ravens fans, but this was just sad to watch. Innocuous kind of play. He rolled his ankle. And I think as soon as any of us were watching that, we saw him go down. I think all of us were thinking the same thing. Yep, that's Ronnie out for the season. I mean, I didn't even consider that he was going to be coming back next week or in a few weeks. I'm just like, yep, that's out for the season. I don't know what it is, if it's a break, if it's an Achilles tear, whatever, but he's done. And so it's proved. He's out with a broken ankle. Just wish Ronnie a speedy recovery. It's obviously devastating for the team. And it's going to affect us going forward because this O-line was already having some issues. And now with the best player on the O-line out, we'll have to see how this works going forward. So during the game, Tyree Phillips also got injured at right guard. So we ended the game with 3 offensive linemen in different spots to what we expect. So after Tyree Phillips went out, Patrick McCarry came in to play right guard. And then after Stanley went out, then we took Orlando Brown Jr. from the right side, moved him to left tackle, and then brought in off-season acquisition DJ Fluker to play on the right side. And the O-line held up. I mean, even after the changes, the O-line did hold up. The O-line performed well. I've got to say, considering all the changes, the O-line did well and did enough to get the offense in position to win again. And apart from the third quarter, where I'd say maybe the O-line was struggling a bit, the game was in hand. The O-line in the third quarter, I think, wasn't able to impose its will too much on the Steelers, getting beat. And so in the third quarter, I think the Ravens had 25 yards of offense. It was a struggle, but got back to it in the fourth quarter, got some big runs off, got some big plays off. And again, really, it's just the turnovers that stopped it, that stopped the Ravens winning this game. I'm not going to go through the game as forensically as I would otherwise. I'm dejected, and watching the rest of the games on Sunday night was not enjoyable. Once the Ravens had lost, I was just kind of fed up. But we'll talk more during the week about what this means for the team. On another note, I think we could be looking at a disaster scenario for the Ravens, because I've looked at the schedule for the Steelers, and I truly believe that the Steelers have a good chance of going 16-0 unless the Ravens are able to knock them off on Thanksgiving night. Because if you look at the rest of the Steelers' schedule to come, they've already played the Titans. The Ravens still need to play the Titans. Apart from that, it's a pretty powder puff schedule. There's a good chance that the Steelers will win the other games on their schedule apart from the Ravens game. So it might be Thanksgiving that's stopping the Steelers going 16-0. After a lot of us, well, not me, but in the off-season, I think you'll see a lot of people in the media and also in Ravens fandom were speculating the Ravens could go 16-0. Obviously, that's not happening, and seeing the Steelers do it would be devastating for all of us. But frankly, I think we've just got to give Lamar some time to mature and come back from what happened in this game. There was a point where Lamar turned the ball over in this game, and you could see he turned to his teammates and kind of patted his chest and said, "That's on me, that's on me." Now, I've seen him do that before and go out and correct it by making a great throw, making a great run. This game he didn't. This game he did all that, it's on me, but he went out and continued to put the ball in danger. Now, for me going forward, what I want to see from Lamar is there's no point just patting your chest saying it's on me and not changing. You need to recognize the situation you're in and truly go out and show your teammates on the field that you are sorry and you take responsibility. Because these games matter, and I feel that I don't know from his demeanor sometimes if he's taking it as seriously as he should be. But he's still young and he's got plenty of time to correct it. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on this game for now. I'm not feeling great, and I'm sure many of you aren't anyway. But we'll get back to it. I'll do another video in a week previewing the next game, and hopefully the Ravens can get back on track and put this game behind us. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for this kind of low-key, dejected video, and I hope to be more sprightly and more enthusiastic for the next one, because I hate losing to the Steelers. Anyway, peace out. Thanks for watching, and do comment below if you've got anything you want to say.